Hi and welcome to the Market Alert for Friday, the 12th of September 2025. So calm, like consumer prices send rate cut odds soaring as gold tops inflation adjusted record. So the CPI numbers were a non-starter. US stocks gained as a jump in jobless claims further boosted rate cut bets. So we'll look at that in just a second as well. And stocks and bonds gained with dollar sold amid surging jobless claims. So let's just have a look at that. The CPI numbers were discounted. Everything seems to be about the job numbers at the moment, doesn't it? Which appear there, 263,235. So there was more people claiming benefits in the US during yesterday's numbers that were released. And that was the focus of the market. It's amazing how they pick and choose the news and economic item to actually further their cause of moving prices higher. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. So let's have a look at this and kick off with the Dow. So as I've maintained for the last few months, the market making a new all-time high yesterday, smashing through the 45,803. The new all-time high overnight is now, let's just draw this in, not overnight, yesterday, 46,139. That is likely to be taken out again today. There's momentum behind this move at the moment. The world's going to hell in a handcart and the stock markets continue to move to the upside, which is exactly what you're seeing there. We're now at 46,000. Are we going to continue till December and hit 50,000 for the Dow? Never say never, because you only have to look at the monthly charts to see how the market has moved over the last few years and continues to grind to the upside. This was the tariff situation in April, and since then we continue to move to the upside there. 30-minute chart yesterday, well, it was just straight off from the cash market and off we went, and we're very stable overnight as well. Prices sideways to higher there. So barring any geopolitical event, the market is likely to continue to move to the upside. Economic news for today, we've got GDP in the UK, wherever that's just disappeared to. Just one second. There we go. So we've got GDP in the UK at 7 a.m. And then we've got preliminary UOM consumer sentiment. This is out at 3 p.m. So all I focused on that at 3 p.m. It's Friday. They like to move the markets higher if they can as well. So the Dow sideways to higher there. Let's have a look at the German DAX. Well, Europe still struggling. I wouldn't be surprised if the market doesn't play catch up, because that's generally what is the case with the DAX. It eventually plays this game of, well, we'll trade sideways until, and then it moves to the upside. But at the moment, the German DAX is stuck in a sideways range. You can see there yesterday we came off the low of Wednesday. A lot of volume there, and the market moved higher, obviously, with the US in the afternoon. Overnight, price is quite stable, sitting at the DP back above the 200 MA. You've got the close above there and the high. But coming back to the daily chart, the market needs to break out of this sideways move that we've got there. And at the moment, it's confined to both the high and the low of this range. And surprise, surprise, we've got a new all-time high in the S&P 500. Again, continuing to move to the upside. Let's just save that. So we've got the new all-time high of 6593.3, above the 5-bar moving average. And as I mentioned before, which I didn't cover back in the Dow, let me just show you. Just go back to that. If we go back to the daily chart, you'll remember that we looked at the ascending triangle. I'm just selecting the arrow. The ascending triangle formation where the market tends to break out on the upside, and that's precisely what we see there. So back to the S&P 30-minute chart again, you're seeing this blast to the upside when the cash market opens. Price is stable overnight there as well. Meanwhile, in the UK, despite Mandelson being sacked, we can see that and the political uncertainty that is being created in the UK, the FTSE doesn't seem to be batting one eyelid yet. When Liz Truss was in, the yields were heading towards, I think it was 4.25%, which everybody was going to lose their pension. She resigned, and then we're actually higher than that now, and nobody gives two hoots. So again, you only have to look at the charts to see the madness in this world. Utter madness at the moment. The valuations for these companies is outrageous, and yet the market continues to move to the upside. So the FT 100 heading back to make new all-time highs of 9359 there as well. So let's see what happens today with the news at 3 p.m. Right, let's have a quick look at the US dollar. And in the US dollar, market is sideways there at the moment. As you can see, still stuck in that range, waiting for the September the 17th FOMC meeting minutes, which is this coming Wednesday, to try and break this market to the downside, because a cut in rates is a drop in the US dollar. Drop in the US dollar is a positive for the metals, so let's have a look at those. And starting with silver, well, we're at 42,168 overnight. This is an unusual move. Yesterday we managed to keep moving to the upside, and there we were at 41.74. As I've mentioned in the last few weeks, the Smackdown Friday seems to have disappeared now. The manipulation seems to be far more difficult to actually pull off as well as silver continues up. We've got obviously the target is the $50 per ounce, possibly by Christmas, but do expect the markets to pull back and rest as well. 30-minute charts, you can see yesterday the positive off those increase in the unemployment claims, and overnight Asia also positive there as well, moving prices to the upside. Meanwhile, gold not back at the all-time highs yet, but no doubt will soon be doing that. And in the 30-minute chart, again, you can see the volatility at the release of the weekly claims, and then the market moving higher after this, and inflation, of course, the CPI numbers coming out as expected. Right, so let's have a quick look at the gold-silver ratio. And in the gold-silver ratio, well, we reversed the uptrend, didn't we, yesterday? All of a sudden there's a lot of interest in silver, and also moving down sharply there as well, so maintaining that. Just bring that back a bit. You've got this situation of the trend now. We've got an established trend where there's resistance, and prices moving back to the downside there. Right, let's have a quick look at the trades for yesterday in the German DAX 2-minute chart. In the pre-market session, we see the market trading down to the low of Wednesday there, and as soon as we test it, you can see there the volume coming in. You see the green spike in volume as well, and then we move to the upside before we get the cash market opening, which is a bit indecisive to start with, moving back down to the close, and then all the way back down to the low when we start to see some buying coming back into the market at this very important level. Prices then turn around and move back to the upside and make their way back towards the high that started the opening of the trading session. Prices then get into a bit of a sideways to lowest situation, because obviously waiting for those CPI numbers. So we'll fast forward, market rebounding a bit, then waiting for the numbers which came out at 130. So CPI numbers the same, unemployment claims increasing, and there's a shakeout there down to you can see the 200 MA, got the green buying coming back in at this level, and then prices moving back to the upside, and then stuck with the Dow futures until the cash market opens at 2:30 p.m. We then see the DAX moving higher with the cash market, and then coming back and struggling a bit to move to the downside, but then takes out the DP. And don't forget, we stopped at the 200 MA prior to this. And again, you can see the market sideways there, and then back into the evening there. You see the market making its way back up, having traded all the way back down to the 200 MA there. Okay, that's a look at that. Let's just have a quick look, see where we are overnight, and prices already heading back to the upside. Like I say, this market needs to play catch up along with the FTSE and also the US markets that are making all-time highs. So don't be surprised if you see just one day all of a sudden the market starts to gain some momentum to the upside, which is what's happened before. Happened at the beginning of the year in January when Trump was elected. After the inauguration, there was just nothing happening in the German DAX, obviously creating a lot of uncertainty. But then the markets decided they would participate with the rest of the world that was moving higher, and that's what happened. Now, Germany's economy is on its knees. France is absolute a basket case. But and the UK is a basket case as well, or heading that way, certainly politically. And yet these markets continue to move to the upside. It shows you the complete disconnect to the reality of what's going on in the world and the fantasy land and twilight zone that is now the stock markets. Okay, that's it for this one. Have a great day and also a great weekend. I will see you on Monday. So, as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.